On a sunny Monday morning, 17-year-old Malik Harris quietly slid into Seat 3C in the first-class section of Horizon Jet Flight 721. He wore a plain hoodie, some faded jeans, and wireless headphones over his ears, eyes focused on a documentary about science that his dad told him to check out. Malik wasn't flashy. He preferred to stay out of the spotlight. A calm, sharp-minded black teen from Chicago, he had long learned how people looked at him and made assumptions based on his skin, his clothes, or just his silence. But none of that bothered him. His dad, Marcus Harris, a well-known software entrepreneur, had taught him that confidence comes from who you are, not from how expensive your shoes are. As other passengers filed in, a middle-aged woman in a cream-colored designer blazer and matching slacks stopped near Malik's row. Her face tightened the moment she saw him. Behind her was Amelia Brent, one of the head flight attendants, striding up with a sugary voice that didn't match her tight expression. "Excuse me, sir," she said, trying to sound polite. "There seems to be a bit of confusion. This seat has been assigned to one of our frequent travelers, Mrs. Dana Whitfield." Malik looked up, puzzled. "This is Seat 3C, right?" he asked, pulling out his ticket. "That's what I have here." Dana, standing with crossed arms, gave a small smirk. "I always sit here. Every Monday flight. This seat's mine. It's just an unspoken thing." Amelia's tone shifted, getting sharper as her eyes swept over Malik. "First-class seats are for passengers who qualify under our loyalty or premium status tiers. You might have gotten the wrong seat number." Malik removed his headphones and handed her his boarding pass. She looked at it, then looked again. His name, Malik Harris, was printed clearly. Her expression stiffened. "Dana," she said, trying to keep her cool, "would you mind waiting a moment?" Dana shook her head. "Amelia, you know me. I don't need to explain why this is not acceptable. Fix it." Amelia turned back to Malik. "Look, could you please move to another seat for this flight? We'd really appreciate your understanding. It's just a one-time favor for a regular guest." Around them, other passengers were noticing. Some were filming. Malik felt the eyes, the weight of the moment. But he didn't raise his voice. "I'm sorry," he said clearly, "but this is my assigned seat. My dad bought this ticket for me. I belong here." Amelia's patience wore thin. "Do you understand how expensive these seats are?" "Yes," he said, holding her gaze. "And yes, it was paid for properly. My dad is Marcus Harris." That name landed like a brick. Amelia blinked. Dana, however, just rolled her eyes. "If this boy isn't moved in the next minute," she hissed, "I'll be calling customer service myself." A tall man in a navy blazer appeared. Eric Colson, the flight manager. "What's the problem here?" he asked. Amelia quickly pulled him aside and whispered something. Eric stepped in front of Malik. "Let's just avoid a scene," he said. "There's another seat available in economy. Take that one, and we'll give you a voucher." Malik stood, but not to leave. He faced Eric directly. "If you're going to force me off this seat, you'll have to do it publicly and unjustly. I won't leave on my own." Eric's voice dropped. "Don't make this harder than it needs to be." That's when the pilot, Captain Roger Blake, came out from the cockpit. Known for treating VIP customers like royalty, he heard Eric's side, then turned to Malik. "You're delaying us," Blake said flatly. "If you don't move, security will be called." "I'm not being disruptive," Malik said evenly. "I have a legit ticket. I have every right to be here." Minutes later, 2 uniformed airport officers arrived. The cabin hushed. Malik picked up his backpack and jacket, walking out with his head up, passing Amelia, Dana, and Eric without a word. Near the back of the plane sat Lena Park, an independent journalist on her way to a conference. She had filmed the whole thing. She had even caught the sneaky moment when Dana slipped a folded bill into Amelia's hand. As Malik stepped off the aircraft, Lena was already slicing the footage on her phone. Within 10 minutes, her clip hit social media with the title, "Teen removed from first-class seat after rich passenger pays off flight staff." It exploded. Back at Harris Tech HQ, Marcus Harris watched the video his assistant had just sent. He froze, then clenched his jaw. The board meeting ended instantly. "This ends now," he said. Across town, the CEO of Horizon Jet, Richard Cranston, watched the video go viral in real time. An assistant stumbled into his office. "Sir, Malik Harris, That's Marcus Harris's son. Cranston turned pale. Harris Tech had invested more money into Horizon Jet than any other firm. Emergency meetings were called. Within 24 hours, Amelia, Eric, and Captain Blake were all suspended. Dana Whitfield was permanently blacklisted from Horizon Jet flights. But it was too late. The stock nosedived. Public trust was shattered. That night, Marcus released a public statement. Harris Tech was cutting all ties with Horizon Jet immediately. All investments withdrawn. On top of that, Marcus demanded every Horizon Jet flight be grounded for 48 hours of mandatory anti-bias and ethics retraining. There was no choice but to comply. Inside the company, employees faced intense sessions led by outside experts. They watched the video. They saw the moment Malik stood his ground. Some wept. Others sat in shameful silence. 2 days later, Malik was invited to speak to Horizon Jet's entire corporate team. He stood at a podium, calm and collected. "I'm not here to accuse anyone," he said. "I'm here because this kind of thing shouldn't still be happening. I forgive you, but that doesn't mean we forget. Change is needed." The room erupted in applause. Even CEO Cranston stood with his head bowed. Meanwhile, Lena Park's video was nominated for a major journalism award. She declined the spotlight. "This story isn't mine," she said. "I just hit record." Malik's courage did the rest. Months passed. Horizon Jet became a case study in how not to treat customers and how to turn a scandal into a transformation. Other companies took notes. Entire industries began retraining efforts. And Malik Harris? Once forced out of Seat 3C, he now stood on stages across the country, speaking, teaching, inspiring. His message was simple. Justice isn't revenge. It's recognition. It's responsibility. It's real change. Malik Harris's story didn't end when he stepped off that plane. It only began. What started as a quiet injustice turned into a national reckoning. Not because he shouted or fought, but because he stood firm in truth. In a world that too often rewards power and appearance over principle, Malik showed that integrity still has a place, and that courage doesn't always look loud. The ripples from that single moment reached far beyond Horizon Jet. Schools, companies, and organizations across the country began reevaluating how they treated people, how they listened, how they judged, and how they trained those in positions of authority. Malik became more than a passenger wronged. He became a voice for fairness, a symbol of calm resistance that forced real, uncomfortable conversations. But he didn't chase the spotlight. He didn't cash in. Instead, he used the attention to challenge systems, speak to young people who looked like him, and remind adults in boardrooms that silence is complicity. His speeches weren't full of anger, but truth. His message wasn't about blame, it was about responsibility. As for Horizon Jet, the company survived, but it was forever changed. They rebuilt from the ground up, this time with Malik's speech hanging in their training halls. "I forgive you," the plaque read, but forgiveness doesn't erase the need for change. Sometimes the most powerful protests come without fists or fury. Sometimes they come from a teenager in a hoodie, sitting quietly in the seat he paid for, refusing to be moved. And from that seat, Malik Harris moved the world.